the block time will be better. But like for more decentralization, if that's our main focus, like then the more the mirror.
Right. So very interesting topic there. You know, I'm kind of the same way. You know, you want it to be fast, you want it to be efficient, but like if we're truly going for that decentralization route, I mean that's something to take into consideration too. So guys, if you have not voted yet, that prop is live for voting right now. Make your voice heard on it. You know, I think, again, we're in a really good groove right now because what we're basically doing is we're building a very strong foundation here. And I said it earlier too, fam, you know, we're starting to see some OGs come out and giving you your roses, you know, saying, hey, Genuine Labs is doing a great job. You need to keep them. You know, they're testing you. Obviously, people have attacked us. They're trying to bring the chain down and still standing, right? So, you know, people need to understand that LUNC is here to stay, guys. Like I've been trying to tell people that for 2 years. I think people are finally starting to wake up and say, oh, okay, like it's been 2 years. Binance is still burning the supply. You know, the validators are still rocking and rolling. Now we've got Genuine Labs on board. Like, okay, we'll pay a little bit of attention. Let's see what's going on here. Let's see if there's opportunity. Had some projects message me just yesterday that, you know, were inquiring about us back in 2022. Guess what? They're starting to look at us again, right? What's the latest? What's the numbers? You know, who's in the validator set? What's the tax? You know, what's coming down the pipeline? Do you have funding for development? It's all good questions, man. It's all good questions. And I just tell them, look, check us out. Follow me. You know, we're going to be putting out some very good alpha, some very good here in the next couple of weeks. And if you're listening to this podcast, guys, and you're a developer, come build. Come support us. I mean, let me just ask you this question. If the number one crypto exchange on the planet that does billions and billions of dollars in 24-hour daily volume, okay, that has burned over $7 million of our supply, and that's Binance, if they can support us, why can't you? If CZ, if Richard Tang, if they can support us, what's stopping you? The answer is nothing. It's nothing. It just depends on a yes or a no. So I respectfully, of course, invite any legit developer here, anyone that has talent, anyone who's passionate about cryptocurrency. Come build here. Bring your time, bring your talents to this blockchain and help us revive what was broken by very evil entities. Help us recover it. Help us put a bright light and a spotlight back on crypto. Because, guys, can you only imagine the FOMO? Can you imagine what would occur if people around the world started to see us rise once more? They would lose their mind. You would have millions FOMOing to try and buy Terra Luna Classic because they see our chart rising, they see our community growing, they see Binance burning, they see more L2s deploying, right? People working together. That'll be a really cool thing. And like we've said since day one, we're going to be here with you every step of the way. We've never quit. We've never stopped. So a big shout out to everybody who's been here since May of 2022. Big shout out to the validator set. Big shout out to the builders. Just don't stop, man. You can't quit. You just can't, right? Like I said earlier, crypto's on the ballot. Crypto's going mainstream. The VCs are here. BlackRock, Grayscale, they're all here, right? The issue now is, when do they take us to the next level? And they are going to, but it's going to be on their time. They move the markets and they're waiting. They're waiting. So now is the best time to get your bags packed. You know, check out Terra Luna Classic. If you want to stake, check out the validators. We'd love to have you stake with LUNC Live. If you don't choose us, there's 99 others you can look at. Go stake with them, right? It's good stuff. We got about, 8 minutes left in the program, guys, until we go into the TFL space. Fam, do you have any alpha, any type of information, updates that you want to let the audience know about? Any juicy stuff before we close out?
We've been receiving let's say complaints about our communication, and about that we apologize, and I could say that we were trying our best to spend more time on like fixing that issue other than just like coding and reading code. So let's say I want to let the community know that Mr. Diamond, can you can you say,
Yeah, I'm here.
yeah, can I just want to say that I don't know how to say this. Mr. Diamond, can you like let the community know?
Sure. It'd be my pleasure, my friend. So
Yeah,
guys,
thank you so
people have
much.
been absolutely. People have been talking about this for a couple of months, and they've been talking about communication. They've been talking about distribution of important information, and we've had conversations with Fam, his team at Genuine Labs, and we're proud to announce that we're going to be the official spokesman for them. Okay, so what that means is any type of important alpha, any type of announcements, you're going to see us assist with that. Okay, I think it's very important that people understand just what it is that we're focused on, and that is rebuilding this blockchain. And we've seen and we've observed Fam and his team for many months. We've got to know them. We've got to have conversations on the phone with them behind closed doors. And we have had discussions, and we think this is the best opportunity to not only grow them and their platform, but to also alert the community in a much easier, smooth way, right? We have a large reach. We have our validator in the top 25, and we think that this would be a good opportunity to grow together. That's not grow one person, let's grow together, right? So, I'm happy to announce that. I know that they're excited as well, and we'll do whatever we can to make sure the communication is just an easier process, right? More smooth. So what I'll say starting out is that, look, if you have any comments, if you have any questions, and people have already been doing it, they've already tagged me in the Telegram groups. They've already sent me DMs. Can you ask Genuine Labs this? Can you ask them this? Now you know. If you need to get some questions or you would like to know something, just message me. So what I'll tell you is, absolutely, thank you so much for your question. Let me get this to them, right? And all I would ask is just give us a little bit of your patience, right? Because I think right now it's 11:55 a.m. where we are in the United States. It's 11:56 p.m. where they're located. Okay, so there is some time difference. So I would just ask, if you have a question, shoot it to me, right? Or shoot it to the Lunaklasic Network, both those pages. Make sure you guys follow those, right? So myself, LUNC Live, Lunaklasic Network, shoot us your questions, your comments, your concerns, and then we'll try to get that back to you as quickly as we can. And guys, look, if we can't get the answer for you, just sit tight. We'll find somebody who's got it, okay? Because anybody that knows us, they know for the past 2 years, we take this very seriously. This is not a game to us. Our friends, our family is invested in Terra Luna Classic. So this is a lifestyle. It really is. It's more than just, trading crypto. I mean, we're really trying to build something special here. So if you have anything at all, any questions, any comments, any concerns, please don't hesitate. Shoot us a line. And look, if you're not happy with the answer, just know we're going to do everything we can to try and get you one. Even if it's not the one you want, we're still going to get you a response at the end of the day, and that's what's most important, right? So anything else, fam, that you wanted to ask, anything before we kind of close up shop here and get ready for the TFL space? Fam, you still there? You might be muted. Can you hear me?
I just want to say that thank you so much for connecting us to the community, and thank you for this wonderful Twitter space and our chance to answer the question that the community have. Any further information, we will try our best to be available on all the platform where let's say if there's any Mr. Diamond Hand and Ricardo and Long Live, thank you guys so much for all the opportunity and the support, and to the community as well for our big opportunity to become your your engineer and developers there. Thank you guys so much.
Absolutely. Thank you for coming, my friend. It's always a pleasure to have you in the space. I know it's been a while since we had you on LUNC Live, and it was too long. It was too long, right? So I'm glad to have you back on the program. I'm glad to be, assisting you all with this, me and my team here at LUNC Live, and we're going to do our absolute best to try and make sure that all of the Terra Luna Classic community that is all over the world, right? We are worldwide. We're going to do our absolute best to make sure that all the important alpha, all the important information is distributed in the best way possible. And we're going to do our best on that as well. So I want to thank you for coming in. Look forward to more spaces with you. Look forward to seeing you guys do a kick-ass job with repairing this blockchain, continuing to be professional, just to focus on the tasks at hand, just to code and get work done. I love it, my man. So thank you so much for tuning in. It's a pleasure. So, folks, thank you so much for joining us on LUNC Live. Like I said, very important space coming up right now at noon. So we're going to go ahead and conclude our program. I would ask you to follow me into TFL space. They're getting ready to start here in about 30 seconds. So let's go ahead and wrap it up today, and I'll see you in that space. Thank you so much. Classic.
Thank you so much. See you later.
Hello, nice to meet you. Sir. Hello, nice to meet you, sir.
Okay, we're getting everybody up here, and then we'll get started.
Hi, sorry I'm late. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, all good.
All right. Shall we get started? Hey, my thought here is that we just go. Let's just start bringing people up, because last time we cut off early. There are tons of people waiting. I don't think anyone needs to hear my spiel again. Happy Cat has it recorded, so if you missed the last one, go find it there. So yeah, let's open it up. I think I see a few people who at the top here, Diamond Hands, Happy Cat. There are a few people that we told we would get up this time. So let's start with those guys.
Okay, we're bringing up Mr. Diamond Hands to get started.
What is up? You there?
Hey, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Hey, thank you so much for having the second space, guys. I really, really appreciate it. I won't take too much of your time. I have one question, and it's a question on everybody's mind as far as the wallets of TFL, and mine included. Will TFL assist us, if need be, when it comes to, the USTC that is still in your guys' possession and the LUNC Classic that you got, the LUNC? Will you guys, if we need it, help us or work with us to provide us a list of wallets, containing these coins and, helping us with the process of burning these? If you can't burn them yourselves, will TFL be able to assist us with that? Thank you.
Yeah, I know there was some. Yeah. Thanks for the question. I know there was some consternation after the last call. Well, how do we know if they destroy their keys? Which is rational. That's a reasonable thing. Frankly, I was just so focused on trying to get the settlement on the Luna that I didn't really think about it. So yeah, I had thought that the wallets are already public through the bankruptcy process. It turns out that they're partially redacted. So one of the things we did is I went back and just checked with the attorneys, can we just burn the LUNC and the UST as well? And it turns out that we can, or I'm almost certain that we can, so that we don't have to argue about whether the keys were destroyed or not, because no one knows. Even I couldn't say with 100% certainty that if we destroyed them, that someone else didn't have them or someone didn't hold on to them or something like that. So yeah, we're going to try to just hang with, I'm almost 100% certain that we could just burn that as well while we're going through the process. There might be some like dust that I'm not going to waste time on, because it is a huge hassle to get all these keys out and do all the work. But and then I think with regards to just sharing all of the addresses, I think we could do that as well. Just so again, you're kind of taking our word for it at that point too. I'm just trying to think of the counter argument that someone's going to go on your space later and say. So what I do understand is that there is a list of wallets that's been published, but they're partially redacted. So you can at least see how many wallets we have, and you can kind of cross check against that. What we burn, if you were to go find that in the bankruptcy filing, and then you just kind of monitor the burn address and see everything that's going into it, you would be able to very easily process an elimination. Say these are wallets that didn't get emptied to a burn address that were in the bankruptcy filing, that are still out there. So yeah, long story short, I think we're going to be able to get everyone comfortable. It'll take a little bit of time because nothing moves quickly in bankruptcy. But yeah,
that was going to be my next question: is a time frame on it, because that's kind of that's the major question on everybody's mind. Will they burn keys or coins? It sounds like you're going to burn the coins, and then what's the time frame on it? That was going to be my next question. Thank you so much.
Yeah, conservatively, let's say a few months, just to give me some buffer. I don't think it'll take that long. I would love to get it done a lot sooner than that. It's just, it's not completely up to me.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Cool.
Okay, great. We're going to get Happy Cat is up next.
What's up? You there? You're muted.
Oh, I think it was dropping me still into the space.
Okay.
Was it my turn?
Yeah, it's your turn. You're up.
Oh, awesome. So yeah, I'm not gonna, kick anyone in the balls or anything like that. Everything is what it is at this point. But I think it's really important that you guys understand the way that you leave this space. It's so important. So I've got two questions, and one of them is to do with LFG. Is LFG, you've stated that you don't have control over it. KUCOIN has control over it. But it's confusing because I've heard different things that you've mentioned. So is LFG going to be included in that wallet list? And with that wallet list, are you able to provide the memos? Because the list has CEX wallets in it. And I think that's what the redacted information is.
So let me be very specific on LFG. For some of the wallets, TFL controls the keys on behalf of LFG, but we can't make any decisions because none of us are on the board. DOE controls LFG. The whole settlement with the SEC regarding LFG was a DOE settlement that we had nothing to do with. Now, if we're told by whoever is legally in charge of it to transfer tokens or something, we would do that, right? Like if there's a legal process that tells us to do something with it, to the extent that we're capable of doing it, we would comply with that legal process. So, so that is what it is. But like, we can't just make a decision to go do something with LFG assets, and we've never been able to, right? The only thing, nothing's ever been done with those assets since the defense of the PEG. They've just been sitting there until recently. We moved them to Fireblocks because it just is a way safer way to custody these things. Sorry, remind me again, did that answer? Oh, and then the list of wallets for LFG, those are already public, right, Mark? Mark Chan, could you thumbs up on that? I mean, we could share them again.
Yeah, if you guys could share them officially, that would be great. But what we've got our own kind of money flow system. We've got a lot of wallet logs, and wallets that are mentioned in there in that list pertain to actual CEX hot wallets. One of them being an old Binance hot wallet. So my thought was there's simply just memos missing or something like that, Chris.
Okay, so first and foremost, yes, the wallets for LFG have already been public, and I think like have you looked at like the LFG website or the Twitter account? I thought we published a dashboard where you could see all of them. Or I think that's been out there for a while.
There is a dashboard.
We can reshare it.
I want to say the last tweet from the LFG Twitter had it. The last thread about moving to the Fireblocks thing. I think it has the link in it.
That said, that's going to be like the historical wallets, right? Because now we've moved it into a custody solution. So I don't know like what the tracking is on that after we moved it over to Fireblocks.
Yeah, that's kind of my point here is the wallet list that the LUNC community has managed to find in the court documents. We have a list of wallets, Chris. I don't know if you've seen that specific list, but that's the list I would like you guys to get out there confirmed. Not the LFG stuff. I've covered that very broadly and gone into also the schedule of digital assets released by the court. It's that actual list that's floating around. Vegas was one of the people that originally brought it forward.
All right, I don't know. Wait, so are you asking me? I don't want to go too into the weeds. Look, we have no problem sharing addresses. Like, we're not trying to hide anything. No one did anything with the assets. So are you talking about LFG wallets or are you talking about TFL wallets?
I'm literally, what I'm going to do is I'm going to pin it to this space just for ease of everybody here. And then we can all get on the exact same page here. And I'm just going to share it in. Whilst that's pinning up there, Chris, can we quickly go to my last question? Then you can go back to this. Is that okay?
Sure. Sounds good.
Brilliant. Thank you. Okay. It's just pinned up there. This is a quick one. So with Station Wallet, I can see that they're in the space. There's going to be a situation where everything's kind of like auctioned off through the correct routes of what's expected of you guys to do. But is there a situation or a scenario where the Luna community and the Luna Classic community could possibly acquire that together, considering it's so important to both ecosystems?
You would have to be able to put together a bid. Like it has to be sold through the bankers, right? Like I have no control over who buys it, where it goes. During a bankruptcy, it's important that there are like no conflicts of interest. And so everything has to go through the bankers, and I'll have no real say on like who gets it or how that's going to work. But yeah, if you guys want to, anyone can bid, right? So if you want to put together a bid, Send your contact information to Mark Chan. And then what we could do is we can connect you with the bankers, and then you don't need to like have the bid now. You need to just like have some idea of how you would get to one. And then, you just go through the process with the bankers just like anyone else could. So yeah, no one's excluded from bidding on this. We want to get as many people involved as possible.
Thank you so much for those straightforward answers, Chris. When that time starts approaching, if you could kind of like give us a little heads up, maybe that would be brilliant. I know you're very limited on what you can and can't say.
But let me tell you now, the time is now, right? Like if you want to get on the list of, because we've got to get this done in the next few months. So if you want to get on the list, if you think you can put together a team that could bid for this asset, I would get your information over to Mark within the next week or two. So don't wait to hear from me. Time is now.
Okay. The document's pinned up the top now, Chris. You can see that there's two pictures there. It's the one on the left-hand side is what I'm referencing. This is the list that's currently going around.
Yeah, of the this is TFL plus LFG wallets. Okay, so let's split these up into two different things. The LFG wallets, there's going to be a dashboard. Look on the LFG Twitter account. We can, Steven can go in and, maybe you could just post it as a reply to this space, Steven, when we're done. So then we have the list of like TFL wallets, and remind me what the issue is again. Like some of it's redacted, and so it's hard to see.
Yeah, so
it's hard to know.
When we ran checks, myself and Strafe Cole, we covered it in a video as well. That some of these wallets are actually they're CEX wallets. So, and they've got like serious amounts in. So we're confused as to how these could be TFL or LFG wallets if they're also CEX wallets. And we've confirmed that these are CEX wallets.
Got it. Sorry. Yeah, I was getting confused by CEX. So centralized wallets. Yeah. I'll need to follow up on that because I don't even know if we have access to those wallets anymore. I don't know the answer to that. Mark, I don't know if you want to hop up and talk about that a little bit.
Can you hear me? Sorry.
I can hear you.
Okay, great. Yeah, so the list of wallets used for, or rather the list of wallets for LFG is a really short list, to be honest. I think if you can count it with two hands, it's less than 10. It's all the wallets that are used to populate the dashboard that you see today. Most of the LFG assets are AVAX or BNB anyway, meaning to say if let's say LFG has $100 million worth of assets today, 90% of it will be covered by AVAX and BNB. So if you're looking for just like the value of assets held by LFG, most of it are concentrated in those two addresses. I think what we can do is we can try to coordinate a tweet to publish like the list of addresses that are used to publish to maintain that dashboard that's on the LFG account. And right now there are already two addresses up there which consists of the AVAX and BNB. We'll follow up shortly with the rest of the addresses, which contains the BTC, the USTC, and the Lunaklasic assets.
Amazing, guys. I know it's not easy to talk about burning, but the Terra Classic community really appreciates getting that kind of ironed out. I hope to see that list get to put forward as well, and hopefully figure out what the other TFL wallets are on the list and what the memos pertain to. I definitely think LFG and the schedule of digital assets is most important because LFG's got like 1.85 billion USTC. And then the schedule of digital assets has just below $1 billion, depending on the value and calculations. That could be a little bit off. But thank you for having me up. I really appreciate it, Chris. And I'll hand the floor to someone else.
Okay, real quick. Mr. Diamond Hands had something. Get you in a second.
Yes, gentlemen. Thank you so much.
Yes,
sorry, I forgot to ask this as well. Thank you so much for bringing me up a second time. Chris, you said about the wallets in regards to holding the Lunaklasic and the USTC. Would you guys be all right? You said you have some wallets that you may or may not have the keys to. Would you be in favor of, say, on our end, that we blacklist those wallets and burn if you're not able to do it yourself, just to speed the process along and to kind of assist us? And do we need to get a team of people to be in charge of that, to communicate with you, or how could we make that happen? Thank you so much.
Look, I think it's your guys' chain, so you guys should do whatever you want with those wallets. So yeah, don't worry about us.
Thank you.
Yep.
Okay, great. We're gonna bring up some more people. Just by the way, if anybody wants to request to speak, this is the time. So get up here, just request to speak, and we'll get you up.
Hey, I think there was someone Redline or something like that has been wanting to get up and talk about LFG as well. He said I think he said I was too scared to bring him up, so we got to specifically bring him up.
All right, Redline, you are the next speaker.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yep, I can hear you.
I suppose I know you can't really talk too much on the LFG asset side of stuff, but that's kind of what's I find is important to our community. So I understand that we're not going to get the LFG assets aren't going to be returned to the community. But like one of the things that LFG promised to do was return those assets back to the holders, back to the USDC holders, and that's just not happening, is it? Like it's been used to pay the judgment against.
I think that, yeah, no, I mean, I think that was the thing that Doe wanted to do, right? Like, just to be clear, like Doe had said that he was going to try to figure out a way to do some kind of like, take the assets that were in LFG and give them back to
the holder some way.
Yeah, the original Terra Classic community. And But my understanding, and you guys can go read the docs, is that the settlement, that the LFG assets that were part of the settlement are reserved specifically for crypto claims. And crypto claims are essentially the claims that those are essentially the people you're talking about. So I think like even in this settlement, he was trying to make good on that promise. I have no inside information on that. I haven't talked to him or anything like that. But so if you think about a bankruptcy, there are multiple types of claims, right? There are going to be people who come and say, like, I cleaned your office and you haven't paid me yet, or whatever. We don't have a ton of debt, but there's like those types of claims.
That's why all these systems have a claim in.
Right, yeah, but there, and then there's going to be like the crypto claims are like one category of the claims that are going to come in. And my understanding, you guys, I don't want to be told. My understanding, go read it for yourself, is that the LFG assets specifically were reserved to ensure they go back to crypto claims. So,
okay, yeah, that's fair enough. Like, I mean, if they're going back to the holders that way, I mean, I don't think anybody can really dispute that. I think, but a lot of people saw the judgment, they thought those assets were being used to directly pay, I think it was interest on the bankruptcy judgment or something like that. But I mean, if they're being ring fenced for the holder, I don't think many people would have a problem with that if they ultimately are going back there.
I believe they are. You guys have access to the paperwork. Go look at it. I wouldn't read the whole thing. Throw it in ChatGPT or something and get it to tell you what's going on. Yeah, like I think that's what's happening. And frankly, I think a lot of the TFL assets will do the same. I think I think the vast majority will. So, but
yeah, I think it was just a worry that it was just a worry that it would be more the institutions that would be getting it rather than the individual holders or the smaller guy, basically.
I see what you're saying. Like, which of those claims get it? That I can't tell you, but it is going to crypto claims.
Okay, that's fair enough. Look, it's disappointing for the classic community in one sense because there was kind of some route to recovery if those funds are available to us. But I mean, if they are ultimately going back to the holder, I don't think any of us would really have any problem with that, and we'll have to find another approach, I think.
Yeah, I mean, you got to be. I mean, this is just me speaking personally. You got to be realistic about the hole that has to be filled and how much it's actually going to be. Right. It really depends on. Right. It depends on who claims, and there's a version of this where it's not a ton. You're not going to get made whole or anything, but yeah, it'll at least be directed to crypto claims.
Like, because I mean, for us, like when we were looking at it, like there was the way the LFG, the reserves were gaining in value, like there was enough in it to actually back USDC to market price, and you could have reverse split it and started fully back then. Do you know what I mean? Which is something that, though, if you had achieved full collateralization, we probably wouldn't be speaking here today. Do you know? So, in one sense, it's disappointing, but if it's going back to the holders, I mean, I don't think we can argue with that. That's really all the questions I had. So, thanks, Chris, for taking the time and for bringing me up here.
Okay.
Rather up next.
Who's up next? Okay.
Okay, Rabbit.
Hey guys, thank you, and Chris, thank you. I just was curious on what's going on with the folks who are on the vesting schedule, post DPEG. Is anything changing with that? Is that schedule still happening in terms of majority of tokens being released between kind of now and middle of 2025 with Station Wallet? I wasn't sure if anything was spoken on this yet. Thanks.
Do you mean the wait, one second? You mean the community grant that TFL got?
No, I'm talking about just the individual holders are on the original Luna.
Oh yeah. With the relaunch. Yeah, I don't know of any.
Yes. I don't think relaunch.
Yeah, no, I don't think anything changes.
Okay. So does that schedule you anticipate to stay, even though you guys won't be kind of
it's all. I mean, it's all. No, it's all programmatic. I mean, it's just whether the wallet's there or not. It's vesting to your wallet. It's whether the station wallet is there or not. It's still vesting to your crypto wallet. So.
Got it. Okay, great. Yeah, that was all I had. Thanks, Chris, and good luck with everything. Take care.
Thanks, man.
Okay, we're going to bring Survivor up here. Reminder, if anybody else wants to speak, just request. We'll get you up here. Let's see, did you get the invite, Survivor? Maybe not. So we'll bring Dion up as well. Whoever connects first gets to ask the question. Oh, Dion, it looks like you're on.
Yeah, thank you.
You can ask questions.
So I wanted to talk about revenue. Is Station Wallet making any revenue on the whole thing?
No, Station. We didn't put any fees or any revenue in Station Wallet. So
TFL is actually making no money on the chain whatsoever.
TFL is making no money on the chain. Let me think about this. I'm going to be very precise because I know someone will come back and do some fucking 17-point thread about how I'm trying to mislead people. All right, Station's not making any money. Yeah, I think the only way you could say TFL is making revenue on the chain is the community grant that we received right now is staked, and that's generating staking rewards. But we haven't sold a single token, just to be clear. We haven't sold a single token of anything that was given to us. And all of that's going to be burned. So yeah, no, there's no. Am I missing anything, Steven, Mark? Any gotchas on that?
No.
Okay.
Well, that was the question. Thank you very much.
Sure. Thanks for coming up.
Okay, Frederick. I just added you as a speaker.
Welcome back, Frederick. What's up, man?
Hey, man. Sorry, just a follow-up question. Is it possible for us who live in outside of the US to do the claims as well for the? I
believe so. Yeah, I believe so. Keep an eye out. we'll post from the Terra account. Yeah, it's not just a US only claims thing. I don't think at all.
Okay.
So
Okay. Thank you so much. Good luck.
yep. Thanks.
Okay, next we have David.
Hi everybody, hi Riz, thank you for having me. I've got a question about Terra the Money website. I am the part of Terra Classic community, and we struggle with virtually not having the official or whether unofficial website. And I would like to know what are the plans with your website, whether maybe both communities can use it in the future if you will shut down. Please tell us a little bit more about this.
Yeah, I this is something we're working on. Unfortunately, I don't have an answer for you right now. And we will have an answer at some point. I understand that it could be valuable and useful. But it's complicated. I guess is the most I can say. So I don't have an answer for you right now.
Yeah, okay, I understand. Even though that there are even straight copies on the internet, I don't know if you are aware of that, but already people did it. But yeah, I understand. I'll be looking forward to.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not the code. It's not like the code that's complicated. It's the domain, like whether we would be able to sell or transfer that domain, or whether it needs to be shut down completely.
Well,
that's kind of what I'm.
It's both the domain and the website itself, right? It will speed up, for example, our process of creating the website, the Terra Classic community. Maybe both communities can have one website, can use the same, design that you already have, the same.
Oh, got it.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, like if you're talking about the front end code, I hadn't really put much thought into that. To me, like the domain was kind of more valuable, and the domain. I'm worried about the domain that, like, if TFL just shuts it off and it goes on the open market, bad actors could get it and do bad things with it. And so that's kind of the primary thing. I haven't thought about like what we could do with the code. It might be open source. But what my primary focus now, my initial priority is just making sure that whatever happens to it, whether it's transferred to the community or shut down, there's some way to keep it from getting into someone's hands who can use it for a scam. So I'm focused on that first. We'll give some thought to the code.
Yeah, I completely agree that this is very important, the domain itself. But once again, for us, the website as a whole is also important. Thank you very much. I'll be looking forward for news about this somewhere next or elsewhere. Good luck and thank you for having me.
Yeah, sure. Thanks.
We actually have a related question that I've seen in the community a little bit. Same question, but for the Terra Twitter handle.
Same answer. It's
complicated. So working on it, looking into it.
Yeah.
Okay, good to know. We're going to bring up Sebastian. Sebastian, you are up.
Hey, Sebastian. What's up? I'm all right.
Yeah. So I wanted to just talk a little bit about the transition moving forward from TFL, being in charge of development and maintenance of the chain over to the community, right? So it would make sense to me, and I think you've mentioned this before, that there are at least some devs, TFL devs, that still want to contribute to the development, right? And to me, that would be the most seamless transition, I suppose, if they were to somehow organize and either go for a grant or something like that. But I guess I'm just wondering, will you guys be helping with this kind of handoff transition? Will we be able to know who these devs are? What does it look like?
Yeah, so TFL can't help with the transition. My understanding is that those devs, or that dev potentially, to be more specific, and some other people in the community are already coordinating on all of this. And that you guys will be seeing that a lot is going to get hashed out on the forums soon. But I'm not involved in it. I can't be involved in it, and TFL can't be involved in it. But since all this stuff is decentralized, you guys will have to work on it. But my understanding is there are people working on it. I haven't been involved at all. I don't really know who it is. But yeah, it'll be up to you guys to find a solution to the community to figure that out. But what I wanted to do, and the point of the settlement, the way that I did it, and was to ensure that we had the time and space for that to happen, which I think we do.
Can you confirm that there are some TFL devs that want to stay on and keep contributing? Are you aware of that?
I don't want to speak for anyone. I don't want to speak for anyone. I would, because I haven't heard it firsthand. I've just heard kind of rumblings about it. But I would watch the forums. I do know that that you should be getting information soon.
All right, fair enough, sir.
Yep. Yeah, sorry, I can't say more there. Steven, do we have anyone else?
It helps if I don't mute myself when I'm talking. Yes, Trader Rocco is, you are up.
Hey, Chris, thank you for holding this spaces. I wanted to ask you about sort of the long-term vision for Luna. I don't know how much you can speak about it. If you were still in position, where would you have liked to have seen Luna in 2 years' time? What could success for Luna look like? And the second part of the question is, there's lots of talk, maybe a lot of meme here about merger between Luna and Luna Classic. I'm not talking about the merge. How could potentially Luna and Luna Classic work together in the future to help both chains?
Yeah, I think everyone who's been following what TFL's been doing knows kind of the vision that I had for TFL and how it could contribute to Terra and to Luna specifically, or like as a result. I think it's really, everything we did was for the benefit of Terra. After the arrest of Doe, and doing the best we could to build innovative products that would bring attention back to our ecosystem and allow it to thrive again. Leading up to the trial, it was about putting us in the best position to capitalize on a win, right? In order to drive that attention and to do this redemption arc story, if we could win. And leading up to the trial, there are reasons to be hopeful. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, and some of the reasons that gave us hope didn't come to. Some of the things we thought might materialize to help us win didn't materialize. And so my vision, that was my vision, right? That was my idea. That was what I was able to contribute with Doe being gone. Was an innovative product suite, carrying forward the torch of Terra having the best UX UI in crypto. And then using that to then, and I think you guys saw that I was doing kind of the pre-rounds before the trial of getting on the different podcasts and everything like that. And then after the trial, if we had won, I had all these relationships built, and it was to go out and go big and tell the story, right? The redemption arc. And that was hopefully going to bring people back. I think now it's not up to me, right? It's up to the community. And there's definitely a community thread, community chain narrative. If the community can come together and continue on, I think that's a big deal. And yeah, I think I would refrain from saying what I would do. It doesn't matter what I think anymore. It's up to other people now. Did you have a second question? I can't remember.
Yes, and the second question was how could potentially Luna and Luna Classic work together, right? Because Luna Classic's been community-owned for 2 years. Luna 2.0 is going to be community-owned as well, because there'll be a lot of similarities. I know there's probably technical differences. But overall, from a casual investor point of view, they'd be both community-owned. How could potentially they work together to benefit both chains?
1 second. Shit. Oh, God. Sorry, I just got a message that's not good. So sorry, your question was like a merge. Oh yeah, it was merge, right? Look, I think look, I think the different communities have different assets. I think if there's an opportunity to bring those assets under one chain, it would make a lot of sense. I don't think it makes sense to have both. It's going to be, I don't want to say it doesn't make sense. It's challenging to maintain a chain, right? And to the extent that you guys can figure out how to combine resources and combine energy and combine communities, I think that's powerful. I think there's an opportunity there. I haven't put a ton of thought into it, but when we were rebuilding Station and everything else we wanted to rebuild, and when we were trying to rebuild the Terra brand, we were always, I think, trying to be helpful to the Terra Classic community as well. And I know there are a lot of people who care about it. And so I think there are ways for, I think there are ways to at least combine under a single set of technology, just to reduce the amount of overhead and burden and security costs and everything else that it takes to maintain this stuff. And then, use IBC to get to let you guys focus on whichever assets are most important to you.
Thanks, Christian. Yeah,
obviously, like I'm biased, but I think Terra is that chain, just given the amount of development that's put into it over the past.
Yeah, I guess my question was a bit more on working together rather than the merge, because Luna Classic still has a big community. I know Luna's got lots of smart people, developers working on it. So it's more about how we can work together in the future to help both communities.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's, you guys got to, ideally figure out how to cooperate. But I don't know that I have a lot to add, a lot of value to add there on how to do that.
Okay, thanks, Chris. And thanks for hosting the spaces.
Yep.
Okay, Survivor got through this time. So Survivor.
Hello. Thank you so much. I'll just get straight to the point. My question is more about, have you had a chance to talk to DoQuan recently, and is he allowed to engage with us or join any of the spaces in the future, or is he being refrained from talking to us for any reason? Thank you.
I have not spoken to Do. And no, I don't think, I don't know his exact, his ability technically to get on a space. But I don't think that would be advisable to him. I think that Do needs to, Do's got a lot of stuff he needs to sort out, right? And so he needs to focus on himself right now, is my guess. But yeah, I don't have any particular insight or communication.
Thank you. That's all the question I have.
Okay, next up we have, they dropped out. Hold on, going through the list. Raider. Okay, Raider, did you get the...
Hey guys, can you hear me?
There we go.
Yeah, I can hear you.
All good?
Yeah, okay, thanks guys. So I had two questions. My first question was about Foundation. Obviously this is a infrastructure platform that you guys have been working on for some time, and it's pretty fundamental to everything you've been doing. So it would be interesting to understand what the plans are in terms of that, because it wasn't one of the assets that you listed for sale.
Oh yeah, it's a good question, and you're right. Like, God, Enterprise or Foundation was so critical to everything we were doing. Station V3, Enterprise, Pulsar. You know, Foundation really was a rebrand of Pulsar Data, which was a product that the Pulsar team had under development before we acquired them. And so, you know, when you hear us talk about Pulsar, Foundation is kind of bundled up in that. Foundation is kind of like a very important part of the value proposition of Pulsar. And so, yeah, those are kind of the same. For simplicity purposes, we just say Pulsar, but it includes all of the infrastructure data product stuff that we were building.
Okay, and in terms of what's happening with the shutdown process, what's going to happen to Foundation, and what's the timeline for that?
Well, Foundation would be sold off as part of the Pulsar acquisition.
I see. Okay, right, that makes sense.
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
So do you anticipate that? I mean, obviously, it's difficult for you to say because you don't know what the vision of whoever acquires it will be. But would you anticipate that it would still be made available as a resource within the Cosmos space, or do you think that it might become something that's more of a private service?
No, I think that whoever buys it, I can't say for sure, but the value is in making it available.
Yeah.
To people. Now, I mean, obviously, whoever buys this is going to have economic, or will probably have economic reasons for doing so,
yeah.
Right? And so they're going to want to monetize it, and we were going to monetize it as well. We were just going to make it free for Terra builders, and then monetize it for everyone else. Depending on who buys it, will they still make it free for Terra builders? I don't know. Depends on how many friends they want to have, but. But I think it'll almost certainly still be available for the Cosmos ecosystem.
Thank you for that answer, Chris. That's great. So my second question was about the delegations that you did to the active set as a result of the community grant that you received. Presumably, those are going to be undelegated as part of the court process that's been decided. Could you give any kind of timeline on that?
Yeah, they'll be undelegated, and then they will be burned.
Yeah,
through community proposal, I think. The timeline longer than I hoped. It's just it needs to be approved by the court. Like everything we do has to be approved by the court. So it could be a few weeks.
So to undelegate it has to be approved separately, and then once it's undelegated, to burn it also has to be approved. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't have to be approved separately. We just need to go get the thumbs up to do it all together.
Okay.
Yeah, but it needs to be everything we do with assets needs to be approved just to make sure that we're covered.
Okay. Well, the final thing I'd like to mention is that as a member of the Hexagon team, we operate Galaxy Station Wallet, so that wallet is available to the Luna community if they wish to use it. It's an interchain wallet forked from Terra Station. It has additional features that we've built into it, and so that wallet is there as a resource for the community if they are looking for a wallet that they want to use.
Nice. Which version of Station did you guys for?
Your V3 Station.
Oh, you did? Okay, interesting. Well, good luck.
Thank you.
Treat it nicely.
Of course, absolutely.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Okay. Thank you very much for listening.
I'll go take a look. I'll go take a look at that as well. Yeah, sure.
Cheers.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you. Bye.
Okay. Thanks. Bye.
Okay. We're gonna bring Gigi up real quick.
Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for calling me up. I think it's I think I don't want people to get lost. Like today, I'm glad that we're getting these numbers settled and people are getting these questions. But
But Terra really needs to reestablish what her identity is going to be moving forward, as Chris said. And we have these products. We have like Enterprise. We have Station. We have these core things that really are, I think, something special. And I'm not sure what the bidding process is or how much interest is in Pulsar. But one thing I think would be crucial is that say there is no bidding, but I think it would be beneficial to keep Pulsar and Station alive. Maybe a community pool pitch with some aligned incentives, or we can get clever. There's all kinds of alliance module things. There's just so many ways to retain our products within the community. I don't want things to just be thought of like, hey, let's just sell it to the chopping block. We're about to burn 15% of the supply. That might drive value back up enough. The markets are shifting a little bit. I would like to see more creative plays to retain these builders in Terra. I would like to see these products continue to be built here. The Pulsar team, I don't know, their capability of learning and expanding and cataloging blockchain, I think could easily be adapted into maybe chain health and maintenance with a dev or two from TFL joining them. Maybe Pulsar can become one of the managing teams. I just don't think it's the right thing to think about like, oh, let's just sell these things. Maybe it's wrong. Let's drive Pulsar's price down for the next couple months and make nobody want to buy it, and then just keep them, and then we can incentivize them. I don't know, right? But I feel like there's a wrong attitude. The attitude, we got to fight. We got to fight now more than ever, right? We got these products. I really do think that we are on something special. We got no more court shit over our head. And what if Do Kwon does come back? We could light a fire again, but we got to be ready. We have to be ready. And the identity of what Terra could be moving forward, like especially with Enterprise, could be this NFT-fi, business, community building hub that really does have a multi-chain purpose and it's an ultimate unifier. So before we count ourselves down and out, I really would like all of us to reassess and try to find some creative ways that we unify instead of scatter. I feel like it's a scattering effect occurring, and I'd like to maybe curb that before it infects too much more. So Backbone has a real interest in finding creative ways to make sure Enterprise's roadmap is carried out. And I've been speaking with the Enterprise team, and we have plans. We have a kind of big announcement. I don't even know if they want to say it, but I know NFT staking live is live. We've made a DAO. We made it. There's a little bit more work, but we've made the official Mad Scientist stake cross-chain staking live. We also need to build another page so we can get Kepler and Leap access. But I've also spoken to them about getting access and opening up the wallets to Enterprise to start to be more inclusive to the Cosmos, because this is the shift. This was always the shift. I've talked to Chris a bunch over the years, and he's always had the vision of dApps that will crawl across chain seamlessly. So this plan is just accelerated. That's all it is. This plan's accelerated, and now we got to make the dApps that crawl and talk to each other's blockchain seamlessly. This is the next step in the evolution. It's just accelerated. So now's the chance for people and leaders to step up. It doesn't need to be a single person. I'm a fan. I'm not going to lie. I do like a leader. I think a leader solidifies the vision sometimes, but if we all share enough of the same vision, like we did on the first round with UST and all that stuff, that was crazy. That caught everybody's attention. That vision was powerful. But we got a new vision right now, and the new vision is to build this decentralized economy first, right? That's the new way we're going to tackle this thing. After we get the economy flourishing, then we're going to come in with some other new sneaky shit. I don't know. I'm a fan of the algo stable. Let's not lose sight that this is a fucking fight. Chris, you did a great job trying to hold this whole thing together. I mean, I can't even imagine what it's like to inherit a $60 million, dumpster fire. I appreciate everything you did for the community. I mean, let's be honest, right? I appreciate it, dude. You were very kind to us. You've helped Backbone come from nothing. We are very grateful. We're grateful to everything that has occurred, the pain, the good. But let's not lose sight of the focus. The focus is that this is a movement. This is transactional freedom. dude, with AI and tracking, like everything's gonna be, dude, we're all gonna be marked out if we don't have good infrastructure. This is our chance to come together with good infrastructure. We need to be decentralized and censorship resistant. Let's not lose sight of what's important.
Yeah, it makes sense, man. Like the vision you just laid out is kind of similar to the one that I've thought about a lot, where you can make Terra a hub for, and this goes all the way back to like what Doe talked about before, is like a hub for interchain commerce. And enterprise, like, it's just, you know, scratching the surface of what's possible there in terms of Terra being the hub, but operating natively cross-chain. I think Station showed what was possible as well. You know, leveraging Skip protocol or Skip's API. And yeah, I mean, you know, Terra's going to need new people to step up. I appreciate all the kind words. You know, could be the beginning.
It is the beginning. When one thing, you know, when that crash happened, everyone thought everything was game over. But look, I look down this group of people, and there's so many flourishing projects that have emerged, and people that have stepped up, and that's going to continue to happen. You know, we're just like in a purification phase. That's what's occurring right now. And you know, right now we have another opportunity to set the tone and the standard of the space that we want to live in and have. So I don't know, this is like a rally call. Like, people need to get imaginative again. What do you want to build? This is the place to do it. You know, the Cosmos is the place to build, man. And right now, you know, Terra has one of the best Nakamoto factors. And if you think that's not worth something, you're crazy. So I'm definitely interested in carrying this torch forward. I ask anybody who's interested in doing that to come to join us, right? Backbone is interested in pushing forward these things that we spoke about over the years. It doesn't stop, right? It just rotates. New people need to step up. And I appreciate everything that you've done for the community, Chris. Thank you so much. I'm sure I'll be talking to you in a little bit anyway.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, man.
All right, brother.
Okay. Thank you, JG. Livingstone, bringing you up. There we go. What's the question?
Can you hear me?
Livingston? There you go. We can hear you.
Okay. I have only one question. You know, since the crash, the life is going hard. I want to know how much did Luna? Maybe I was in here for a space for a long time, but I would like to know how much Luna Classic amount in numbers, in figures, you have and you're going to destroy?
I don't know. I feel like someone else who isn't at TFL probably has a better number than we have, because that isn't our focus. But yeah, I can't really answer. I don't know the answer to that question.
And for how long are you going to destroy this? Overnight, 5 days, 5 months, something like that?
I don't know how long it's going to take, but I think it shouldn't take. I don't know the answer to that question. We just figured out that we would be able to do it rather than destroying the keys, but you know, we have to do it before we shut down, which is this year.
So what is your tomorrow through UST and the Luna Classic? What is your futures on this?
What is my future on it? My future, yeah, I'm done, right? Like TFL is winding down because we lost the case, and all of the world of potential penalties that we were facing was greater than the amount of assets we had to cover it. So I would recommend, if you want kind of an overview of what's going on, I would recommend going back and listening to the video that Happy Cat recorded from the last space.
Okay,
yeah.
Last question. Okay. A last one, okay? Through your agreement with your SEC about those 4.4 billion you have given back, we are the victims. What do you agree with them about us? You know, we are the one who lost this.
Yeah, so I talked a little bit about that. Again, I'm sure someone's recording this, so you'll be able to hear the beginning of this. I talked a little bit about like what was going on with the LFG stuff. You know, it's my understanding, and again, I'm not an attorney, my understanding that you know, that the SEC's intentions and my intentions for that were actually aligned in that it would go back to holders of the original holders of LUNC and UST. Now, what ends up happening through a complicated bankruptcy process, I don't know, but I think the intention of all parties in that settlement, which was why we were able to get one done, or one of the many reasons, was that that the large pool of assets. Now, you have to be careful with that $4.5 billion number, though. There is not $4.5 billion worth of assets to go back to people, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
So if we check our supply, for example, we check for Lunaklasic total supply is about 6.8 or 7 trillions. Where did you get those 4.4 billions to save that for the case and give for the sake, and you lost, and we don't have a 1 billion to save a supply of Lunaklasic? How did it come? How did you get this?
Yeah, that's the point. Like, I don't even know how much I can get into this. But no, there is not. That's a claim that goes to the bankruptcy court. There isn't $4.5 billion worth. If we had $4.5 billion worth of assets left over, a lot of things would be a lot different right now. So no, there's not, like, because the headline's 4.5 billion doesn't mean that TFL has $4.5 billion worth of cash to give back. The numbers of assets, the amount of assets we have are public. You could go find them in the bankruptcy filing or ask Ray Raspberry. I'm sure he has them all.
My question, the point of the question is where do you get those money to save a case for DK? Don't know, I mean, stable DK, but not saving the classic and the supply, the problem that we have as a community. That's what my question is. Where did you get those amounts?
I don't think I understand your question. Stephen, do you understand it?
So I think it's the question around where is this 4.5 billion, and that's been answered. That's a claim. That's not those assets don't exist, not in that quantity. And then where they're going. I think you already said that the LFG is for crypto claims.
Yeah, and then the rest. So the sum total of assets that are left in this estate when we wind down will go to a trust, similar to the Celsius Trust or the FTX Trust. And then what will happen is that everyone who has a claim against those assets, and a claim just means someone who says TFL owes me money for whatever reason, will have a chance to file that claim. And then the trust will go through, and the bankruptcy court will go through and determine. I think this is how it works. Again, I'm not an attorney. I'm not, especially not a bankruptcy attorney. Don't really want to do this again. They'll go through, and someone will go through the trust, combination of trust, and the courts will go through and decide like the order of priority for the claims. And what they'll also do is they'll go through and see if there are any other assets that they can track down. They might have lawsuits that they can do against other people or something like that, right? To try to get more assets. And then they'll start distributing based on valid claims that are presented against the estate. All that stuff is going to happen probably long after TFL is wound down.
Okay, great. It's on the hour. Still have time to go for a little longer.
Yeah, I have time. There were a lot of
Vegas.
So many angry people on Twitter who said they were going to show up. Where are they? Where's Nacho?
If anybody wants to get angry,
where's Nacho?
Well, we have Vegas right now.
All right, Vegas.
You're up to speak.
Yeah, guys. Again, great space, and is first of all, I think it's brave of you guys to not brave, but this level of transparency is really good. I have a couple of things. One of them regarding the station itself. Is there any possibility that you guys can or support until you guys close completely Lunaklasic? We are getting some reports that people cannot utilize it properly. And if not, is it possible to merge some PRs on GitHub if we find a fix for making LUNACLASSIC work there? We have options, like Raider was saying. We have Galaxy Station and stuff, so we have loads of options. But the community is used to use TerraStation. Another thing regarding the wallets, like the list of wallets that I shared. They are from SEC, from SEC, yeah. And the confusion that is happening now is that some of the wallets are connected directly with some exchanges, and the people are asking regarding if that wallet was indeed from TFL or is one wallet that is from the whole SEC, yeah. And you guys only have like a memo, like one of the part of the wallet. So it would be nice to have like that proper list, so we can know what we can count regarding the burning these assets. And you said that it will be possible for you guys to maybe lost some keys. I don't like that. Maybe I lost some keys, but yeah, okay. I lost once keys as well, so I understand. But if that is the case, for the wallets that you guys assume that you lost the keys, can you do publicly tell the community that okay, we lost these keys, the community is free to freeze this wallet or burn directly this wallets on the chain? Is that even something that you guys can do? Thanks, guys.
Yeah, so I think I answered this earlier too, like. I don't even know about the exchange wallets. I can try to look into that when things calm down a little bit. Like like how they're set up. It's probably different by exchange. What was the other question? Oh yeah, yeah. For stuff like we said, you got to keep in mind, like, well, you guys already know the circumstances under which we took over, right? And so, you know. We didn't get the most normal transition. I think for any of the wallets that we can't burn ourselves, yeah, you guys should just lock them or burn them or do whatever you need to do via community grant. So like those assets aren't going to move. So you guys have time to do what you need to do.
Thanks,
Matt. I think. I've got to answer your question about, like, say, unfortunately, we can't push code anymore. Okay, so the only code that I'm going to push between now probably and the wind down is to enable additional wallets on Enterprise just to be safe. But yeah, that's it, unfortunately. So.
Okay, it's what it is, mate. Thank you so much for answering.
Yeah, sure thing.
Okay, Jose. When I find your name again, there we go. Jose, you are up next. See, did you get the invite, Jose? We'll add Frag as well. Whoever gets up first can ask. Go, Jose, I think you're.
Quando é que vão começar a queimar isso aí? Ou vão chegar $1? Quando? Só falação.
Okay.
Quando é que vão queimar isso aí? Quando?
Is that Spanish? I don't think that's Spanish.
Portuguese? I don't know.
I think it's Portuguese, and he's probably asking.
Not good, I'm guessing. Frag, let's go with you.
Yeah. If you guys, for any Portuguese questions, DM me, and I will give you Miguel and Eduardo's personal address, phone number, social security number, anything you need. Yeah, sorry, go ahead, Phil.
Hello, thanks for having me in the space and up. I wanted to ask specifically about the like all the technology and all the like technological like assets of TFL. I assume these are all open source, so they are not going to like flow into the bankruptcy mass of TFL, so they will not be like sold or something. I'm specifically asking for Alliance module, so like chains are still free to use that software and integrate that into their chains.
Anyone can. Yeah, that's already. No one's going to pay for that. There's no business model anyway on Alliance. Unfortunately, we should have called it something slightly different. And yeah, that was a momentum thing for a while, the restaking stuff. But yeah, no, yeah. I think anyone who has, I think Alliance is already open source. Anyone can use it. Everyone should.
All right, thanks.
You're welcome.
Nice and easy. You wanted somebody to be mad at you? Here's somebody called EMAD.
Excellent.
EMAD, come on up.
Hello.
All right.
Hi, man.
Go ahead.
LUNC $10. LUNC.
And I'm not going to be able to do that one. I don't know. That's Turkish, I assume.
Okay, we'll try again. Let's see. Justin. Let's go with Justin.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing good. What's up?
All right. So just wondering if there's an update on Wrap Luna and what's going on with that.
I think I'll be honest with you, I don't even know like the whole story on Wrap Luna, but I think Wrap Luna will be one of the assets that would be included in like allowable crypto claims.
All right. Thank you. Awesome.
You're welcome. Sounds good.
Cracking through them. All right. Ivan.
Hey, I got to go. I do have to go here in a little bit. I think it feels like we've probably gotten to the meat of it. Definitely keeping an eye out for a few people who pretty vociferously wanted to come on and say something that haven't showed up yet. So for the record, we were here. We were waiting. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do maybe two more.
Okay, we can do two more.
Hey, Chris, just wanted to say thank you for everything you're doing. And
thank you.
Yeah, I was part of the original Luna crew back in the day. And
long before me, I remember. Yeah.
Yeah, just it was a awesome community and super cool to be a part of. The purpose. I think, I guess this is my question, is that no one is really talking about, I mean, the whole vision of decentralized money was what brought us all together. And ultimately, that's what led to its success. And then I think also the attack on it, because it was so successful. And the purpose of it, the peg was attacked. And it seems like whoever attacked the peg, like they're getting away with it. There was nothing said in the court about the attack on the peg. And you know,
oh yeah, no, go ahead, finish your thought, and then yeah. Sorry,
I just want to know from your perspective, you know, it seems like there's a larger game at play, and if just to you know, from your perspective, was the trial fair? And who are the actors behind the attack on the peg? And then, you know, are they the same ones that are behind the trial against Luna? And, you know, if this battle is to be pursued without really knowing the strategy behind the people who are keeping it from succeeding. Everybody can develop and they can, unite the community and whatnot. But if anything gets successful to the place of what Luna did, then the same strategy will be used to take it down. So I don't know. What's your thoughts on who was actually behind the attack and now in the court system, battling through the court system to pull this down so that it doesn't have legs. What's your thoughts on that, and how can this battle be fought successfully?
Yeah, I think I would go back and check the transcripts a little bit on the evidence
it seemed like
presented at court, because there's a little more in there maybe than you're alluding to on what happened and people involved. But I can't talk about it. Look,
it seemed like a lot of it was centered around Chai and what happened with Chai, and nobody really cares about that. Like everybody that was in the Terra ecosystem, most of them, I would say 90% of them, didn't even know what Chai was. So, the whole.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I get it. Look, I can't talk about the trial, but look, we lost. I was there for every minute of it. The trial followed the law, and so I guess it was a fair trial, and there was just there were a lot of allegations, and no one there who had firsthand knowledge who could talk about them, and so. It was a tough trial, but it was a fair trial, and we lost. As for who was behind the DPEG and all of that, I can't say anything more than what's already kind of. I would let you go to the source material from the trial and draw whatever conclusions you would from it.
Is there any possibility, because the TFL is taking the heat for, everything that the collapse of everything. Is there any way that, TFL now is being dissolved, but is there any hope to find out, because everything's on chain, who is responsible for the attack, and then for a trial to be pursued against the attackers of the PEG, because they're ultimately the one responsible for the DPEG.
Yeah, look, the community. Look, I can only speak in high level, not specifically about Terra. Look, I think if it was found that there was market manipulation, I think there are people who would pursue that in a pretty meaningful way. I can't say if there was or not. It's hard to tell. Generally, I think what you would probably find if you dug into this is that it was a confluence of factors. And, but, I think and so, look, even though TFL is going away, the trust still survives. So if the trust, which is looking to maximize assets, feels like someone didn't do something they were supposed to do, or did something illegal, they still have it. Long after I'm gone, they still have the opportunity to pursue those legal actions. And the trust sounds like some evil. I don't know. It just sounds like some kind of evil organization, but they're actually kind of aligned with you guys in many ways. From this point out, they just want to maximize the value of the assets that are going to go back to claims holders. And so, they're incentivized to look under every rock going forward to try to see what they can find. I think with regards to Terra was blamed for everything. I do have some thoughts on this I'd share. When everything happened, I don't want to get too long-winded on this, but even I was concerned, dude, what happened? What's the real story? So many allegations were flying around. And it was really important to me. It was really important to everyone at TFL that we had answers on that and that you had answers on that. And so I just want people to know, like, it was critical to get that thing to trial, win or lose, and get the evidence presented so that everyone can see it, right? And even leading into the trial, you know, one of my objectives with taking over for TFL is like, look, I can't replace Doe. I never said I could. I didn't join TFL for that purpose, right? I joined to work for the guy. But one of the things I wanted to do was just make sure that the true story was told, because I was afraid if TFL dissolved, that the true story of what happened would never be told. And I think if you go and look at some of the interviews we did, or that I did leading up to the trial, you can see that there was, at least when people really thought about it, there was an understanding that what happened with TFL was different than what happened with some of these other situations, that this was an open source protocol, and you know, that frankly, a lot of the people involved didn't think TFL did anything wrong, you know? And so it was important for me to get to that trial, regardless of the outcome, so that we could have that, so that it would all be put out there. And then, you know, I think before it's all said and done, there will be more articles, there will be more books, and more of the story will be told. You know, a key character in this story, obviously he can't speak right now. And it doesn't make sense for him to speak right now because he's got a lot going on, but you know, someday he'll be able to tell his side of the story too. And I think that will have an impact on how people look back on this. But with regards to like who did it, like who's responsible, I'm not like hiding any thoughts from you. I think it actually was a confluence of factors. And I don't have a ton to share.
When you say a confluence of actors, like it was intentional.
I mean, I said factor. I didn't mean actors. I meant factors. If I said actors, I meant factors. Yeah.
Okay, got it. Well, Chris, I really appreciate everything that you've done and holding these spaces to bring closure to TFL, and this chapter of Terra takes a lot of courage and leadership, and you did a great job while you're holding the baton. So appreciate it and thank you.
Yeah, thank you, man. That means a lot coming from you. Yeah, I think we have two more. We have two more we can get to, and then I got to go.
Okay, Rio, you are up.
Rio's back. Rio, by the way, gave me a hard time last time, but I sent him a note and thanked him for coming up, because there's a lot of people who are saying things that aren't getting up here and saying it directly to me. You know, Rio and I can disagree about the job I did, but at least he's saying it directly to me. So welcome back, Rio.
Is the request going through, Rio? Are we having Twitter problems here? Let's see. Might drop to reconnect. Let's do our other one, and we'll get him up there. Meta Maverick, do you first. Hello.
It's bittersweet. Like Ivan said, you know, I love that we're getting to have this closure, but it's also sad in some ways. But excited for the next chapter for you guys. What's up?
That was going to be part of my question, actually. You know, I wasn't a Terra OG. You know, I got a lot of friends in Backbone and GMC. And obviously, I've just had, you know, a bit of this space, a lot of talk about, you know, what happened in the past. But, you know, I know you guys obviously working with people to, you know, assist in the wind down and, you know, helping with things. Well, what's your guys' plans kind of moving forward? You know, once you have done that process, you know, I'm sure you spent a lot of time building, you know, what was Terra, you know, what's next for you?
Yeah, you know, I can't speak for anyone else at the team. I think everyone has a lot of different ideas about what they want to do. I know a lot of people are going to stay in crypto. You know, for myself, when I took this job, and there's been a lot of people there's been like a lot of discussion from people who don't show up to these spaces about like my salary. But just for the record, that was given to me by Doe because he knew what this was going to be. But, when I took that job, I knew it was kind of the end of my crypto career. Once this was over, it was just too high profile. Too much. Yeah, just too much. So yeah, for me, I'm going to take a breather. I still love crypto. I still have a very strong perspective on how it should work. But yeah, the most I'll be able to do is point to kind of what we were able to do in our limited time, trying to hold the company together, trying to hold the team together, the incredible stuff that was built by Vlad and the enterprise team, the incredible stuff that was built by Mike Mertz and like a band of high schoolers. No, I'm just kidding. But one of the key developers on Station was a high schooler. I don't think a lot of people know that. Everything we built on Station. So I'll move on to something else. We'll leave behind. I think we've got to, I just want to say, I'm just super proud of what, first and foremost, that the team held together. We didn't lose a single person after Doe got arrested. I think we lost like 2 accountants, held the team together, grew the team. It's hard to explain, if you haven't run a company before, like how hard that was and how much resilience the team showed. Frankly, like shocked that they even stuck by me. And they stuck by you, the community as well. And so, yeah, I leave, and I think a lot of them will go on to build important things in crypto. And I think we can all be proud of what we put forward. We did innovate. We leave behind products that were different and better than any other that were in the market. And I just want to say before I go, I couldn't be prouder of that team, both in like their technical capabilities, their maturity, their resilience. The highlight of my career, the most challenging time of my career will always, I'll look back as a highlight of my career as well, to be able to work with this group of people.
And Chris, having been through that, because I was in a space for about 4 or 5 hours earlier, and we were kind of talking, a lot of those guys were Terra community, and, a lot of obviously the IBC and Interchain has now come to the forefront. And part of their worry was, now a lot of people are looking at liquid staking and stuff like that. Some of that's going cross-chain IBC and stuff like that. That there might potentially be vulnerabilities to the fact of IBC, and, so many chains being linked together. From the experience you've been through, do you think there's kind of risk to that? And, do you think it's risk that can be mitigated and that it's kind of worth the trade-off, basically, is my question.
Yeah, I think like the interoperability thing, it's a really good question. And we struggled with this a lot when we were talking about chain abstraction, because you don't want to abstract away the risk, right? You want to build this incredible user interface, but you also don't want to abstract away the risk of like, well, hey, your stuff can be anywhere at any time, but there are different risk assumptions with each of those different places. I don't think, look, I'm not a technical person. And so I can't speak to if there are technical risks to like if there's something about IBC that makes it unique. I don't have a strong perspective there, but I don't think I think there are risks. I think people should be aware of where their assets are and the risk assumptions they're signing up to. I think there is, and this has nothing to do with just IBC, with bridging technology in general. There is a risk with contagion that people should always be, not contagion is not the right word, but like a chain effect. You know what I'm talking about, right? Like where something breaks on one chain, it could ripple through 7 different chains. And even if you're not a cross-chain user, it could have an impact on you. So I think there's a lot of stuff there philosophically that needs to be sorted out. I definitely don't have the answers. To me, we ultimately decided it was worth it just to push forward with the abstraction vision, because if it doesn't work, what are we doing anyway? I think it's a good philosophical debate to have. Maybe when I'm out of the industry, I can still come back and I'll be able to speak more openly about some of that stuff.
Yeah, 100, man. I bet you'll be able to add a lot of value because you pretty much came back to the similar conclusion because we kind of started the conversation saying, you know, all the chains need to work together. And, you know, a couple of hours later, so we're kind of saying, well, they're kind of saying, you know, but it can have X, Y, Z risk. But, you know, I was kind of saying, you know, if there's a black swan event that's going to lead to that kind of stuff, you know, everyone's probably going down anyway. So probably shouldn't be too scared of building stuff. Just, it is worth thinking about those things, isn't it, when we push forward and, you know, what's going to be the new risks and, you know, what lessons can we take from this? Because, you know, as much as it's been a hard thing from it, it sounds like, you know, what you went through with your team and, you know, seeing it from the outside, I'm sure a lot of people are going to have learned a lot of lessons from what happened with you guys and, you know, how it can maybe be done a bit different in the future, right?
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you very much for that, bro. Thanks for the info.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, thank you, Meta. Last one, Rio. We got you up here.
Oh, great. Hey, thanks for bringing me up. Hey, I'm not going to jump on you too hard, Chris. Just a few questions, man. Are you still constrained from speaking freely about the case and about what happened?
Yeah, I can't speak about the case.
Is it court ordered, or are you just been told by a lawyer?
No, it's just like part of the settlement.
Okay. So there's a lot of knowledge, institutional knowledge that you have, probably better than anyone at this point other than Do Kwon. It would be nice down the road to kind of hear, after the dust is settled, your thoughts, what really happened, the strategy behind the case, why you were so confident in winning, and the fact that we lost. Also, why the fact that the most important person in this whole entire case is Do Kwon. And for him not to be able to testify in his favor and pushing out the case or waiting for a new administration with the SEC or whatever. I mean, I think the community deserves to hear that. And I know there's a lot of questions that people have because we're all in the dark pretty much. Other than we can read a transcript. I mean, it doesn't, that's not the institutional information that people like me are looking for is what really happened. And I know the reason why you stuck around is because you thought that you were going to make it. You were going to make this shit happen, and you guys are going to make the comeback. So yeah, I'd love to hear that down the road. Go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, I'll give you a little bit now, and yeah, I could definitely sense that last time you came up, right? And so one of the reasons I don't take any of this that personally, especially when it comes to like the legal strategy, is because people have questions and I can't give them good answers, right? And so you're left to speculate. And you know, there's no one who wanted to win that case more than me, and probably Doe. I don't know. I didn't even have a chance to speak to him about that case. But he couldn't be there, right? Like that wasn't a decision; it was just a fact. And if he could have been there, if there's any way, we would have tried to do it, you know. And but it wasn't possible, unfortunately. And so, you know, it is what it is. It is what it is. Doe's going to have a chance somewhere to do the case with him involved. And it's going to be very high stakes for him because, like you were talking last time, one's civil, one's criminal. And so, you know, the case that you wanted will happen, right? It didn't happen in the one that I was part of. And so, yeah, I don't know when it's going to happen, but it will happen almost certainly, right? Given the circumstances. And so, and that one's, you know, for him, even more important than this one. This one was. So, yeah, I wish I could talk more about it, but I can't. We went to trial and we lost. And now we have to deal with the consequences of that. The one thing I would just flag though, Rio, because actually there is something I would say that was a major factor where the tide turned, where things looked a lot different, and I think I forget to talk about it. We didn't get to go to, so all of the fraud allegations were not valid if UST was not a security. So keep in mind, UST was ruled as a security in summary judgment, like in December, right before the trial, basically, right? or maybe November, someone fact check me, but towards the end of last year. And so we thought, part of when I talk about like the different reasons to be bullish, a lot of it had to do with UST not being a security. And thus, there are no fraud. There is no jurisdiction for fraud if UST is not a security. And so like that's like a major, I think, underestimated turning point. That probably had more to do, we didn't even get to go to trial on that. Like that was a summary judgment. And so that was probably, I think, other than, that was a major factor in everything. That doesn't get talked about because there wasn't, a juicy trial to cover or watch. I meant to flag that last time and I forgot to do it.
It would have been nice if I agree. It would have been nice to fight that beforehand, but I don't know exactly what happened with that. It sounds like, just reading between the lines, that a big reason why you can't talk more than you have is Do Kwon's still involved in criminal proceedings, and you don't want to mess that up for him or TFL in that regards. And I'm just putting that out there because that's the only thing that kind of makes sense. That, hey, look, Do Kwon's going through some shit, man, so we can't really say a whole lot, and we got to protect our guy.
Yeah, I mean, like anything that happened at trial, or anything that happens could be used in a Do trial, or anything said could be used in his trial. There will be, I think there will be a point where I can probably say more about like, we could get into like legal, like technical, what was happening on the ground day to day. Cause like there's so many decisions being made in a trial like that. We had an entire floor of a hotel that was just a war room, and like tactical decisions being made on a minute by minute, hour by hour basis. But yeah, I can't talk about it right now. It's not practical, unfortunately.
I appreciate it. And I think everybody here should pray for Do Kwon and his results. The guy wasn't trying to defraud anybody. He was trying to build, a system that was going to change the world, and it was a fucking unicorn, man. And that's the reason why we're all here, is because it's unicorn. So I'm praying for him. I hope everybody else does. I do have a couple more questions real quick. Just, all this IP, this Jax, Nebula, Foundation, Feather, Warpcast, the proof of reputation DApp that you were working on.
Yeah.
The enterprise payments, all these fucking cool DApps, man, that I was just waiting for them to come out. What's going to happen with that? What's going to happen with that intellectual, that IP? If you could maybe touch on that.
Yeah, some of those were things that we were really bullish on, but they didn't work. Like we couldn't make them work. And that was, that's one of the things about building in public and being transparent. Like Jax, for example, we were pretty excited about it, but then it just didn't work. It could have worked, but it was not up to the quality that we would have required to take it public, or to release it. Yeah, I think, the major project, a lot of them are open source. The ones that aren't, again, will be in the sale process. There are some of the smaller ones you talked about that never made it out. I don't know the exact status of those.
Well, like Nebula, I remember you saying that Nebula was basically finished. You just needed a team to take it over.
Yeah, I think Nebula is open source. Like we couldn't find a team to take that. I think Nebula is open source though, because that had already been launched. I think that got launched like one day before the DPAG. So yeah, that's open source. Someone could take it and do something with it.
Okay, great. Just final question. Maybe you can talk about, I feel like the community was a little hoodwinked in the fact that, we gave this grant $150 million in Luna, and then we didn't really know where the case was, or if there was even a case against Terra, and everything was going to be okay. And I feel like it was never really articulated to the community. Hey, look, guys, we have this SEC case hanging over our heads, so there could be potential that this it gets clawed back or it gets put in bankruptcy proceedings or whatever. How come there was no discussion about that to the community?
I thought there was, and that's where like I think some of us will just have to disagree on that. I thought there was plenty, and maybe because I'm living the trial prep so intimately for every day of my life for a year and a half, that maybe it was like more, maybe I like took for granted how obvious it was. But regardless of that, like we never spent $1 of it, and I did the settlement to burn it. And so there was no ill intention there. And I think in the end, there's no damage. We were able to deploy a lot of liquidity because of that. And if we had won, I think it would have really accelerated things. But yeah, if there are people out there who feel like we weren't transparent enough on that, I'll take that feedback. I apologize. I thought that we were. I've checked back with the team multiple times, and they thought that we were. I don't have time to go back through all the Terra spaces, but if someone wants to go back and listen to all those, and feel free. If we weren't transparent enough on that, I'll own it. It's my responsibility. But I think we resolved it. I think we handled it in a way that there was no harm done. Nobody took a single one of those out of TFL.
Yeah, I'm not. It wasn't necessarily monetary harm, but it was just hearts and minds harmed.
Yeah, I don't understand that. I don't understand that so much, because like the idea was that it would allow us, like my thing was like, it'll allow us to like get scaled and get a position to really accelerate if we win. And that was long before we lost the first round, which was the UST as a security thing. But yeah, if people are upset about that, they can blame me.
Okay, just one more thing. You said, I'm just going to hold you to it though. In the future, when dust settles, everything's worked out, you'll be able to have the opportunity to discuss more in depth. You mentioned there were some things to a few guys ago that said, things didn't really materialize that you thought would. And I'm hoping maybe you can discuss that at a future date.
Yeah, for sure. I can come back on once the dust settles for everyone.
Sounds good. Again, praying for Do Kwon. And I know it's a tough job, Chris. You did the best you could. And, all the shit talking. I know this was fucking difficult, man. So good luck to you.
All right, man. Thank you. All right, with that, we're going to call it. Thanks, everyone, for coming. I'll probably be quiet for a while. When there are major important updates, they'll come from, I'll try to retweet them or anything if you're following me, but I would definitely follow the Terra account. And thanks for coming out. Yeah, appreciate everyone catching up. Appreciate everyone who took the time to come up and ask questions, and we could get some of this stuff out in the open this week. Take care, everyone. Bye.